Welcome, everybody, to Let's Talk, the Todd Worsham Show. All right. I think my voice is a little crispy there. Anyway, it's been a while since I've been on the air. I have to apologize to every one of my subscribers. Life threw me a curveball. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm still in the process of getting out of it. It's going to take a little while longer, but things are getting stabilized. I was able to get my studio set back up and ready to rock and roll and bring you guys some new things. And hopefully, I'm going to have some new guests on. I'm trying to get that arranged right now, and hopefully, in the next couple episodes, I should have at least one or two new guests. So, anyway, so today's special is going to be about cicadas. Now, why cicadas? Well, I walked outside my front door last night, and I have a little tree because my house is like brand new. And so the tree's like really small. And I walked out there last night, and the thing was just going like a buzzsaw. And I was thinking to myself, man, I haven't heard those since I've been in Tucson, which was like eons ago. And I lived in Phoenix for probably 10, maybe 11 years. I lived there. And it's really strange because I don't recall hearing them. And now that I did some research and I remember things, I forgot that they only come out like every 13, it's like 13 and or 17 years. So that makes sense. But I've been gone from Tucson way longer than that. And why I didn't hear any in Phoenix is probably because I was in Phoenix during that 17-year gap. So anyway, so got some fun facts. This is what I like to do. This is what my show's about. Just trying to, spread some news and stuff like that. So, and I apologize. My notes are scattered all over the table. At any rate, so I didn't know this, but there are actually 3,000 different kinds, species of cicada living around the world. 3,000. I always just assumed that a cicada was a cicada, but of course, since I've done so much research on this program, I also know that there's not just one species of something. Everything has a subspecies or some type of variation of that species, especially in the insect world. Insect world is really crazy with stuff like that. But of course, there's stuff in the animal world. And in my opinion, there's stuff in the human world because I've had to deal with some people that I think are a different species. But you never know. We all come from the Anunnaki, right? We're all star seeds in some way. So we all came from some other place. So whether you believe in that or not, that's neither here nor there. But I believe that to be true. Like the octopus. I don't know if you guys remember or if you recall the episode I did on octopus. And that was pretty wild. And I may go back and revisit that, actually, do some more research on the octopus, because as far as scientists can tell, it did not come from this planet, which is very amazing. And I don't know, I just think it's cool. At any rate, so I'm going to give you some fun facts. I like fun facts. I like fun. I like to love. I like to be happy and share what I learn with all of you. And hope you appreciate it. If you do, and even if you don't, leave a comment, and I'll get back to checking my comments, because I haven't been on my YouTube page in probably I think I've been gone for 3 months. I think my last episode was from Bangor, Maine, when I was on a contract out there, but that ended, and yeah, I'm not going to get into any of that. But anyway, so I moved from Bangor, Maine to Prescott, Arizona, and I just absolutely love it here. I'm so glad I came here. And I know it's kind of weird, but people who watch my episode and know me know that I'm pretty spiritual. I'm not religious. I do believe in the teachings of Jesus. I do believe that, and I believe that his teachings were to help us connect with what most people call God, the universe, which is energy, and I believe in all that. But anyway, so I had been wanting to be living in nature for a long time, and when I got back to Phoenix, things just felt off. So I decided to jump off the cliff. Actually, I was kind of pushed off the cliff, but that's all right. It doesn't matter how I got off the cliff. I got off of it and I'm flying because God will always save you. Well, I don't know to use the word save. God will always make sure that you are okay and that you have everything that you need. Not everything that you want, but everything that you need. And I'm a living example of that. That's how my life has been going since I've been in Prescott. I've been surrounded by amazing people. And although I had to take a big, huge pay cut, and that's been really hard for me. And that's why I've been off the air for a little while longer than I really wanted to be, because I had to, excuse me, I had to save money and get a new, I had to get a new camera because somewhere in the move, I got damage done to my equipment. And so I've had to replace some things. So anyway, that's neither here nor now. We're here. We are here now. Remember, live in the now. Living in the past creates depression. Living in the future creates anxiety. So the only way that you can fully live your life to the fullest extent is to live in now. And right now, we're going to talk about cicadas. So, all right. So, and I'm going to read from my notes. So I apologize. Cicadas are a superfamily of winged insects that live mostly underground and emerge at intervals of 13 or 17 years. There are over 3,000 species living around the world, but the most well-studied are those belonging to the genus, I'll tear these words all up. The Cicada, which includes 7 species of parodical cicadas. So I didn't look up what that the parodical cicadas mean, but by just looking at the word, periodical means time. It means time periods. I already know that. And then the word cicadas. So periodical cicadas means the 13 or the 17 years. Anyway, common in eastern North America, which I didn't know. I was looking up maps because when I went online to do my research, I couldn't find anything on Arizona. And I'm like, well, I know that's crap because I've lived in Arizona for a long time. And I can remember when I first moved to Tucson, I had these trees outside my apartment window, and I was working graveyard. Was it working graveyard? I was working graveyard. But anyway, so I was working graveyard. And when I get home in the morning, these things would just be like buzzing all day long, and it was like making me insane. And I'd never heard of them before. And but they're crazy, 120 decibels, which is quite a lot for a bug. At any rate, the long-lived arthropods are stout, green, or brown in color, with red eyes and transparent wings. They're known for their deafening songs of the golden skins they cast on trees. That some species are at a risk. I don't know why it skips like that. Some species are at a risk of extinction due to climate change. No, I don't want to hear that crap. Anyway, and conservation increasing importance. Okay. Here are 15 fun facts about the sporadic anomalies of the bug world. Cicadas live on all continents except for Antarctica. I believe that. Well, as far as we know, I mean, when the ice finally melts and goes back, comes back, because I don't know if you know this, but Antarctica used to be not have ice on it. It used to be an actual continent. And that's why I trip out on this whole climate change things, because the climate is always changing, has always been changing, and will always change. And the planet is I think once you understand that the planet is an actual living being, it's a living thing, then you'll understand that it's in constant change, just like we are. I mean, we eat too much or we don't exercise enough, and our bodies go through changes and whatnot. So, the planet's no different than us. I mean, we all come from the same God particle, so it's all the same. So, cicadas live on all continents except for Antarctica. The superfamily is split into two. Okay, we already said that, which are mostly extinct, save to two extant species that occur in southern Australia and Tasmania. And cicadae, which can be found on every continent except Antarctica, they thrive in warm environments, especially the tropics, which makes Latin America, Australia, Southeast Asia, and the Western Pacific and South Africa hotspots. There are more than 170 described species throughout the U.S. and Canada, and the U.S. alone is home to 15 broads. Okay, so this is how I kind of look things up. When I first went on there, they're talking about 2025 is going to be broads. So I didn't really know what that meant. So basically, I think it's already in process actually. There's going to be an outbreak of cicadas across the eastern United States. And I didn't print that map up, I'm sorry. But all across the east, they're coming out one article I read says in the billions. Another article I read says in the trillions. So, billions and trillions is a huge difference. So in other words, they really don't know how many. It's just a freaking lot. All right, so cicadas are often called locusts, which is not true, as they hail from a taxonomic order, Hemipteria, true bugs. I don't know what that means. And locusts belong to the order of the Orthropia, like with the grasshoppers. And few behavioral and physical attributes could be the culprit of the misnomer. Firstly, cicadas share a suborder with other hoppers of the leaf and frog variety, even though they don't hop themselves. Secondly, their tendency to swarm is similar to the locust. Experts estimate that when the 17-year-old broads emerge in the U.S., they're as concentrated as 1.5 million cicadas per acre. Holy crap. That's definitely in the billions. That's per acre, 1.5 million per acre. Can you imagine there's 1.5 million people per acre? We'd be living on top of each other. One difference beyond their scientific classification is the cicadas pose little to no risk to crops and vegetation, whereas a swarm of locusts can consume the same amount of food as 35,000 people in one day. Wow, I didn't know that. They have one of the longest insect lifespans. An annual cicada can live between 2 and 5 years, and a periodical cicada can live for up to 17 years in the larva stage. That's not quite as long as the queen termites are thought to live. Wow, I didn't know this. I'm not even doing a special on this, but so queen termites can live 50 to 100 years? Wow, I'm going to have to do something on that. But it's far more impressive than the average lifespan of a household fly, 15 to 30 days. Thank God. Cicadas, like most insects, live the majority of their lives in the immature stages of development. While some can remain underground for more than a decade, they typically die only a few weeks into adulthood. Periodical cicadas may be a result of ice ages. Well, here we go. We're speculating. A leading hypothesis for why they are both annual and periodical cicadas and why the lifespans of periodical cicadas vary is that some broods located east of the Great Plains in the U.S. only developed extremely long juvenile stages during the glacial age, or epoch. It says epoch. The northern broods tend to remain underground for longer than the southern broods. In the U.S., corroborates this theory. However, critics say it doesn't make sense that glacial would affect cicada population of only a certain area when other cicada habitats were covered in the ice just the same. So I agree. I think I would agree with that. Their tendency to emerge only in prime numbers cycles is thought to be an effort to prevent predators from feasting on them repeatedly. Most of their lives are spent underground. Oh, blank page. Oh, that's weird. Didn't paint that. About 6 to 10 weeks after the eggs are laid in cracks and holes in trees, they promptly drop to the ground and burrow up to a foot into the soil, where they remain for up to 17 years. While they're below the ground, they molt rather than pupate. Oh, I didn't know that. Through five growth cycles. The most mortality occurs during those early stages of life. When the nymphs complete for feeding space underground, when they compete for feeding space underground, swarming is a survival strategy. It's unclear how many cicadas are included in a single brood, but experts estimate that there are billions. Their portly bodies blanket backyard tree trunks. Their collective songs impede outdoor conversations. Cicadas are known swarmers, but their synchronized emergence is actually a deliberate survival strategy called predator satiation. Satiation. When an animal occurs at such a high density population, predators quickly become satiated, therefore increasing the chances of survival for a large percentage of young. They only emerge when the ground is 64 degrees. The exact moment when cicadas emerge in masses is very calculated. It happens only when the ground 8 inches below the surface reaches 64 degrees Fahrenheit, and not 1 degree higher or 1 degree lower. When that temperature is finally reached, the nymphs know it's time to begin their upward journey via chimney of mud. This usually happens soon after the sunset, and they will climb high onto the trees before most humans have even noticed their arrival. The phenomenon can take place over several evenings. Cicadas get their nutrients from trees. So I wonder why I keep skipping page. But it's really weird because that kind of makes me question stuff, because so it says when the ground hits 64 degrees. So you mean to tell me in a 13 or 17 year period, the ground never hits 64 degrees? It only hits 64 degrees in 13 or 17 years? So I that to me doesn't make any sense. That's why you got to be careful when you do research. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. But here, part of the article says every 13 to 17 years. And then this part of the article says they only emerge when the ground is 64 degrees, not 1 degree higher, not 1 degree lower. And it just makes me think that how in the hell they don't come to the surface in between the 13 or the 17 years. It doesn't make any sense. While underground cicada larvae aren't hibernating, rather, they spend up to 17 years just feeding on trees. Oh, okay. Well, I guess maybe that answers that. I guess I should just kept rating. They have a special straw-like mouth used to suck liquid from plant roots. That's really weird. What they're really after is xylem, XYLEM, a botanical vascular tissue that helps conduct water and dissolve minerals from the roots. Because xylem tissue is mostly water, cicadas are thought to be malnourished, which could be the reason for their slow maturation. Molting cicadas that live on small twigs can kill juvenile trees and shrubs, but mature trees welcome the pruning when the cicadas die. The decomposition of the carcasses also serves as fertilizer. Okay, here we go. The females can lay up to 600 eggs in a few short weeks she spends above ground. The female cicada lays 400 to 600 eggs. She uses her egg-laying organ, the ovipositor, to make rows of pockets in twigs. She'll then lay about 25 eggs in each pocket, and a single twig can hold up to 20 pockets, sometimes creating what looks like long parallel slits. Tree species popular for cicada egg laying include hickory, oak, and several fruit producing trees. Scientists don't know how they tell time. While experts hypothesize the periodical cicadas only emerging every 13 to 17 years to evade repeat predators because they're slow to mature and due to historical necessities of extent juvenile periods, the extent time tracking methods have long remained a mystery. Findings from one study indicate that they may use more than just their biological clocks to tell the time so precisely. They could be using the trees. In the study, researchers transplanted 15-year-old, 17-year-old cicada nymphs under a tree whose blossoming cycle had been altered to occur twice per season. When a tree blossoms, it produces a higher sugar and protein levels, detected by the cicadas feeding on their roots. The nymphs emerged a year early in the study, indicating that they kept track of time by counting their host's seasonal cycles. That sounds probably more accurate to me. I didn't know this. Wow. They can reach 3 inches long. Wow. I wonder if they make good bait, fishing bait. The smallest cicada in North America is half an inch long, which is discovered in Arkansas. The largest known cicada in Southeast Asia, which can be 3 inches in length and have a wingspan of up to 8 inches. Wow. Some cicada are among the largest true bugs in the world. Those large, lengthy bodies house for transparent, veiny wings, including a pair that's longer than the abdomen, 2 bulging eyes on either side of their heads, 3 additional eyes on top of their head, and bristly antennas located in front of their eyes. Their abdomen, their skin. Why did my printer keep doing that? That's weird. It skips stuff. So by the end of the cicada summer, billions of translucent skins called, well, I'm going to tear this one up, exivui, will blanket tree trunks even after their hosts have died off, shedding these skins in the first order of business after emerging from the ground, once emancipated from their final nymph casing. They must wait for their wings to inflate with fluid and their new skins to harden. Only then can they go about singing and mating through the fast and furious period of adulthood. Their songs are as loud as a chainsaw's. Those in cicada-prone areas know to schedule weddings and other outdoor parties around the active seasons due to insects deafening songs. Only males make this familiar cricket-like noise, hence the name cicada, meaning tree cricket in Latin. They do it by rubbing their wings together and using a special organ on their exoskeleton called a time ball, which creates a series of rapid clicks. They produce 2 sounds, one to attract mates and the other to repel predators. The songs can reach up to 120 decibels, which is as loud as a chainsaw, or even louder than a live rock concert, and can be heard up to a mile away. Naturally, a group of cicadas singing is called a chorus. They're widely they're widely eaten even by humans. Like many big winged insects, cicadas are clumsy flyers, which makes them easy targets for birds. And one of their biggest predators, cicada killer wasp. They are periodic feasts for lizards, snakes, rodents, raccoons, and even fish. Oh, okay, so you can use them as bait. Cats and dogs. These ground predators are the reason they race upon emerging to get high up in the trees, but humans also eat them. They're known to boast a sweet flavor, almost like shrimp, and are commonly deep fried for Shandong cuisine in China. Even people in the U.S. will eat them raw, boiled, grilled, or stuffed. So that's pretty cool. At any rate, that was weird. My screen just went dead. Um, so so that is the ones that are back east. And you notice all the they just happen to have a lot more colors in them. And let's see if I can find I got another one here. So they actually look kind of pretty. They're actually kind of cool looking. And okay. So I didn't know this either, but the ones in Arizona are on the eastern and south, sorry, western and southwest part of the country. They're actually called cactus dodgers. I didn't know that. And it shows that they're common in California, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Oklahoma, and Texas. And as you can see, they look a lot different. They're more brown in color, and I'm assuming that's because, well, that wouldn't work either. I would assume it's because the desert's brown, but I don't know. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just hypothesizing. So, anyway, cicadas, noisy little boogers. Have, but they're buzzing in my front yard right now. I heard them last night. They were going full bore. So, anyway, everybody, I'm back. Um, I should be releasing my. Um, I used to do my show every Thursday, but because of my new work schedule, I think I may be releasing. I think I may be releasing every Sunday. So I'll keep you informed. I'm not really sure yet. Um, Thursday would be kind of tough for me with my work schedule, so maybe Thursday, Friday, or Sunday. So, but it's definitely not going to be Monday through Thursday. I can tell you that, unless I record them on the weekend and then release them on Thursday. So I don't know. Give me a word. Let me know how I'm doing. It's been a while. I apologize. I'm back. So please hit that subscribe button if you like me and leave comments. I don't care if they're bad or good, because um, bad comments help me too, because I know I'm not perfect. If there's something that you would like to see or hear, or something that interests you, or something that I'm doing that you think is stupid or you don't like, screw you. No, I'm just joking. I'm just playing. But please leave a comment, and especially if there's like something you'd like to know about, or like to know a little bit more about. I love to take requests, and I'll do, I don't do like massive, like rabbit hole research, but I do enough research to get to the but normally I don't indulge in social media, especially on X. In my opinion, X is horrible. You go on there and it's nasty, whatever, don't take it personally, because you don't know what that person's going through. I mean, we're all, especially in these times right now. I mean, this is some really crazy times right now, especially for us boomers who grew up, in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And the world has completely changed. It's completely different. And this younger generation, they don't understand that. They don't know what it was like before all this, before computers, before internet, and before all this. It was a completely different world. And I miss it, but I don't. I mean, I think the internet's really good. And I also think it's really evil. So it just depends on how you want to use it. So, like when I go on Facebook or whatever, I always post loving things. And I post things that I think are true to God. So, again, thank you for joining. I'm back, baby. so so stay with me. Come join me next week, and I'll figure out what we're gonna do. I think I'm gonna start doing a little bit more spiritual stuff, and educating people on frequencies, and getting in line with your frequency, and getting in line with the teachings of Jesus, and the teachings of the universe, so we can all expand the love on the planet, so we can actually ascend, so we can get to where we need to be. And hopefully you'll join me on this journey. And I've got a lot of stuff that I'd like to share with when it comes to the spiritual side of things. So especially with frequencies. Frequencies are a big, huge thing. And I think I've done some stuff, but I know YouTube's taken down some of my stuff. So especially I did and I'm babbling on. I did a special on bells, and I don't know why. YouTube left it on there for about a week, and a bunch of my friends saw it and really liked it, and then YouTube took it down. So I don't know why they did that. But I do curse sometimes in some of my videos, and maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I have my YouTube set up as for adults only. So I'm not really sure what the issue is, but I'd like to I'll have to go back and look at that video. I know this is really strange, but once I record a video, I never watch it. I never look at it again. And I know that's really strange. I don't know. Maybe it's all part of living in the moment. I don't know, but that's just a weird thing about me. I say what I say. I put it out there. All my videos are raw. I don't edit anything. What you see is what you get. It's pure and it's honest to the best of my ability. And hope you enjoy. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining. And we will see you next week. All right. Thank you.